Mental Health Mondays ignite the spark. Hope guides each step, even in the dark. New week, new dreams to see. Hope's the key to what's meant to be.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays with Hope. This is our second show of 2026. I hope you all enjoyed last week's show, which was a very special anniversary, cancerversary for my sister, who was the guest. And it was pretty cool to have her on here and to still have her with us. So in 2026, as I stated at the end of 2025, one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on at least once per month with the show is goal setting and how to keep the goals that we set. We talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions and why they don't work. So we talked about setting goals and, and talked about different ways to strategize to stay with our goals. So I have an amazing guest with me tonight. Her name is Keri Bentsen, and she is a life coach. And she is going to give us some simple ways how we can reach our goals. Hello, I think she's at the door now.
Hi,
Hi, Keri. How are you?
doing well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So, Keri, yes, Happy New Year. Woo, we need fireworks or something. So before we get into anything about Keri, I always like to start my show with my guest giving a positive affirmation about themselves with I am.
Okay, my positive affirmation is I am worthy and I matter to
That's
me.
great.
Yep.
That's great. I love it. I love it. And one of the reasons that I do this is because I did it for myself and I wrote it in lipstick on my mirror, I am. So that way every morning when I went into the bathroom or anytime I went to the bathroom, I saw that I am. And it prompted me to say something, inspiring or positive about myself. So I want to just try to get it to catch on with everyone.
Love
So,
that.
Keri, you are a life coach and a behavior change specialist. So, can you tell us a little bit about those roles? Like, what is a life coach exactly? And talk like what is a behavior change specialist?
Okay, well, thank you for asking. Thanks for having me. So basically, I'm a wellness life coach.
Okay.
So I started as a health coach, and then as I learned about life coaching, I applied that to my health coaching practice. So then I renamed myself a wellness life coach. And so basically, what I do is help people. I specialize helping women over 40. And with behavior change strategies to improve their life. And specifically now, like I kind of keep niching down and changing my niche. So basically, I'm a self worth recovery coach now, and I empower women over 40 to reclaim their self worth after toxic relationships so they can stop shrinking and also rebuild self trust and move forward with peace and confidence. So, using my behavior change skills, I teach simple tools to break people pleasing patterns and also set boundaries without guilt, and also build daily habits that support mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness. And I do use positive affirmations in my practice as well.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And I know I see that, we have your website up there. We have a QR code up there. So, if people want to reach out to you, we are encouraging them to do so. What you said you're, kind of like refining your niche. What brought you to this in the first place?
My own personal experience. So since my divorce, over the last several years, I worked on myself. I wanted to improve myself, examine like my past, my pattern. I'm a recovering people pleaser. And, I was in a toxic relationship. So it just breaks my heart when I hear about people who are going through similar experiences that I went through. and I'm just trying to make that process easier. I kind of found my own way and helped myself, but now I kind of refined that, and the process is so much quicker now because maybe, I did something kind of out of order. Uh, when I look back now at my life, I see a much more streamlined way to get there.
Right, right, right. And I feel I've always felt that it's so important, and we're just seeing it, in this last decade, maybe even the last 5 years, more than in the past, of women sharing their stories, talking to other women, and letting other women know that, hey, I've been through this too. You're not alone. And I think it's very important that you're able to do that and that you're willing to do that. So thank you. I'm sure there are many, many women out there who have very much appreciated your guidance. So thank you.
Yes.
As will, I'm sure, the people who are watching this podcast, because again, what I had said earlier is that one of our highlights on Mental Health Mondays for 2026 is that we're going to help people stick with their goals, making their goals and sticking to them. And just as have done this because of your experiences, I feel that every show that I do is, partially has to do with my own experiences or experiences that, of people that I know. And I can tell you so many times that I have set a goal or I made the New Year's resolution, but I never had a plan. I didn't like live with intention. I didn't, what do they say? Plan your work and work your plan.
Mhm.
I never did that before. So it was really helpful for me to do it this way. And it's just such a different vantage point now. I don't feel that I'm setting myself up for failure.
Right. And you brought up a good point. A lot of people make goals or resolutions, but they don't have a plan. It's not enough to just want it. You need to have a system in place. And I'm going to be talking about that today. It's um, it's just having intentionality behind it. And also, and this is where the life coaching comes into play for me, that helps. It's knowing why, like even beyond why, like your thought process, how you think, and how you process your emotion. And then that also leads into how you make your decisions. So it's like all it encompasses all of that.
Right, right. And I'm sure, again, if we do things a certain way or don't do things, um, in order to change that, we need to change our behaviors.
Mm,
If we keep doing the same thing over and over again, we're going to get the same results.
exactly. The definition of insanity. Yes.
Right. I know. I was going to say it, but I decided to let it go. But you're right. I mean, that is. And how many times, have we seen that, with our own lives, with other people, with, history. I mean, anything like that. I'm too excited. I want to get into the meat of things here. But before we do, I would like you to tell us a little bit about your book.
Okay. Well, let's see which I
Books,
started. Okay.
right?
So
Which
yeah,
one is up there?
there's four of them. So Choose Joy and Joy 365 were the first book. I just have like one page in each of them. And one of them is a devotional, and the other one, the book of affirmation. So there's 365 authors, and it's just great because they're just such a nice mix of
Right.
different cultures. Different people have been through different experiences. So that's what those books are about. And
I love
then
it.
the self-care 25 tools for life. I have a chapter in that one, so I'm kind of like working my way up.
Yeah, that's great.
So my chapter is on how to become your own best friend, and that like really speaks to my heart. it was just my own personal experience, how, that negative self-talk and just
Right.
beating yourself up. And I just had to change that, turn it around so I became my own best friend. And that was
Right.
that's as well. Yeah. And then the last one with my bestseller days coming up in a couple of weeks. It End the pity party now. 15 steps to leave your past and step into your future. And I was in my own pity party. Just I'm like, why me? I'm a good person. Why do I have to go through this? And acting like a big baby. Um,
I think we all do it though. I mean, I know I've done it,
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I was acting like a big baby. Pity party.
So, but the book, when I wrote the book, I did not want it to be a serious, heavy book. So it's very lightheaded. It's like having a fun party, a transformational pity.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So I just like the spin I put on that. And, I hope people can appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I definitely want to read that. That's awesome. Oh, that's the coolest. I mean, I feel like for me, like if we don't, laugh through things, what are we going to do? I mean, we're going to cry, we're going to self-destruct. Um, and laughing at ourselves is I feel a tremendous show of confidence as well. To be able to laugh at ourselves and not always take ourselves so seriously.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. So you said that, you've kind of watched what we've already talked about with goal setting um I'm trying to emphasize like this smart goal setting, but you're going to give us some tips.
Yes, I
And
am.
yeah, so a part of me wants to, pull out my notebook, but I know that since this is now live, but it is being recorded, then I'll be able to go back and watch it and watch it and watch it. And I hope everybody does the same, which I have to say for everyone, please, if you have not subscribed to the PA Empowerment Network, hit the subscribe button. It is absolutely free. And we have some great programming on here, and we'd love to be able to, for you to be able to catch all of them. So thank you to our subscribers that we already have. So I'm like a little kid, at Christmas. I want to hear the tips. I want to, I want to get your vantage point. So
Okay.
spill this tea.
Okay. Well, first, I do want to acknowledge the last couple of guests on your podcast. One of them said, something about turning failures into success, and I think that's really, really important because I think many of us grow up thinking we're supposed to get through life without failing. Trying to live perfect lives, and you know what? That's just not realistic, and
Right.
it's not even in our best interest. We learn from all the things that did not work in our life, and then we pivot to try to find what does work, right? So today I'm going to share a 3-step process that makes reaching your goals simple and doable.
Oh, I
Okay.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And I
So
may interrupt and ask questions, just so you know.
okay, very good. And I'm so glad you invited me as we're halfway through January because this is a good time to look at the goals we already set for 2026 and ask ourselves, how's it going? And remember that most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they don't have a system. And I just, again, I'm gonna remember, I can't remember which guest it was, but they were talking about turning failures into
Mhm.
success.
That was Jeanette. She's a nurse. She just became a nurse. She just finished schooling. Yep, that was Jeanette Michaels.
Great, great, yes. So goal setting is easier when you have a system in place. And I'm a big believer in habits, which is one of the reasons why I became had my got my specialty in behavior change because I wanted to know what does it take to change your behavior? And a lot
Right.
of it is setting the habits. And one of my favorite books is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And when you think about habits, let's just take brushing your teeth, for example, right? When you were a kid and your parent made you brush your teeth, you probably dreaded it. And maybe it was something they had to keep reminding you. And, you just did it because you had to do it. And maybe you didn't look forward to it either. But after doing it over and over and over again, it becomes a habit, right?
Right.
And eventually that habit becomes a lifestyle where you just do it automatically to the point where you can't even go to bed or leave the house until you brush your teeth, right? It's just
Right.
funny. Yeah. And the thing is, we know like we hear a lot about it taking 21 days to build a habit, but it actually takes about 90 days before it
Hmm.
becomes a lifestyle. So,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. So that's why, sometimes even past 21 days, you still need to work on it, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
If I can interrupt, I
Yeah.
feel that people who have not done any sort of work on changing their behaviors, or let's say even weight loss, like, eating differently so that you would either lose weight or be healthier, I feel that the word habit has always had a bit of a negative connotation. When you think of habits, you always think of the bad habits. Smoking, eating the wrong things, drinking, doing anything in excess. And I think it's important that we continue to actually use that word habit in a positive way and remind people just what you said. We don't think that brushing our teeth is a habit because it has just become such a part of our muscle memory, that we no longer think of it that way. And I think it sounds silly maybe, but reminding people that there are so many things that we do that's habit, and using the word. Sometimes when I get in the car and I might be going someplace different, but I automatically start making the turns to go to work, because that's the habit. But I'll just say, oh, I'm used to doing this.
Right.
I really need to use the word, oh, this is a habit. And just
Mm.
to remind myself that I kind of have control of that.
Right. Yeah. And then even going back to the brushing your teeth, is that a good habit or a bad habit?
Right,
We
right, right.
Most people
Well,
do that. Yeah.
right. When we were little, it was probably like we thought it was a bad habit, but but no, you're right. You're right. And I
Yeah.
apologize for interrupting you.
No, enjoy
So
it.
you're right. Wow, 90 days. And
Yeah.
that's a great number now to keep in mind, because you're right. Everybody focuses on that 21 days. So talk can you a little bit about, and I'm sorry if you have a path to go with this conversation, you just go ahead and take it. Um, the difference then between habit and lifestyle change, or what happens between day 21 and day 90. Like,
Well,
how does a habit become a lifestyle change?
repetition, 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 right? Just doing over and over again. And think about it. 21 days is just 3 weeks, but 90
Right,
days is 3 months. Think about things you've done for 3 months or longer. Like it's just ingrained in you. You just do it,
right,
right?
right,
Where the habit, yeah, 21 days, you still kind of have to remind yourself, right? Yeah. So that's like the big difference. It's just a transition period between 21
right.
and 90 days. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this
Yeah.
will be good for our goal setting individuals, because I know that we have some that have stated that they are following this, and they are working on their goal setting. So if they start today, or let's say they can start tomorrow, and start making something into a habit, a behavior into a habit, I'm hoping that some of those people that are doing that are going to check in with me in 3 months and let me know how it's going.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I love
Yeah.
that idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so I apologize. Continue on.
Okay, no, it's fine. You can interrupt me anytime. So just saying that goal setting is easier when you have a system in place. So that is actually the first step, putting systems in place. And the key here is to make it easy because behavior change is the real work here. A goal is the destination and habits are the vehicle to get there.
Mm,
So for habits, you want to stop. You want to make it hard to do or unpleasant. right? I always think back, I was a nail biter for most of my life. So I wanted to stop biting my nails. So I put like perfume on my fingertips and I made it unpleasant to do. To give
Right.
you, like one example, right? Same thing. If you don't want to eat cookies in your home, then don't put them in your shopping cart at the store.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And
Right.
then, yeah. So, and then for habits you want to develop, the good habits, you want them to make them easy for yourself. So, if you want to go to the gym in the morning, lay out your gym clothes the night before, block out the time on your schedule just to do that, have your sneakers by your bed, just have everything so it's easy,
Right.
whatever that's the whole key right there. Habits you want to continue or start, make it easy. Bad habits, make it hard. Okay.
Wow, I love that. And I'm sorry, you said something that's I feel really key is blocking out the time. And I know a lot of times we as women tend to be so busy with everything else that we tend to forget about ourselves or block off the time for ourselves. And I think that's extremely important to make sure that you literally put it on your calendar. This time is for this, and and don't let anybody take that away from you. That's a great point. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And another example is, I lived in Pennsylvania for 25, maybe even 35 years. And, that's how I know you.
Right.
And so one of the main reasons why I moved to North Carolina is the weather, right? I love walking outside and listening to my favorite music or podcast. And when I lived in Pennsylvania, I got into a really good daily walking habit until winter hit.
Hmm.
And I do not like the cold at all. And once
Right.
the temperature dipped below 40, I stopped walking. And this happened year after year. Then every spring, I had to start my walking routine over again with a new walking habit, trying to get into that habit again.
Right.
So that brings us to something I should have done. And it's the second step, creating a backup plan. So there so there are times when it's raining. Like it could be a beautiful, like warm day, and then it's raining. If it's light rain, I'll put my rain jacket on and go walk outside. But if it's pouring rain, there's no way I'm going out
Right.
to walk. So in old days, I used to skip walking. It's raining, I can't walk. So now I created a backup plan. So I planned this ahead of time. Here's the key. You really want to plan ahead of time, not in the moment. So for me, I'll do like a fun workout or a dance in place of walking, right in my, bedroom or whatever. And if I'm following a video, save it and have it queued up and ready to go for when I need it. Because you can really create a backup plan for everything. And this works. And here is why. You know yourself best. So when you create your plan, you want to be in the best state of mind. Very important. And make
Right.
a promise to yourself to follow your own plan and follow through, especially when you're not in your best state of mind, like I call it your inner rebellious teenager. You know what happened? Like it's raining. Heck, I'm not going to walk, right? So when you have a plan, a backup plan, and you decide to stick to it, make it automatic, right? You want to make it automatic and not think about it.
Right.
Because if you think about it, you're going to give yourself an out, right? How
Right.
many times we do that, right? You
Right.
think about it long enough, you can talk yourself out of anything.
Right. Right. But you're right. I see that. Like, if you don't have it already decided and in place, it's so much easier for your mind to wander onto something else and, and then push that to the side. And
Yeah,
I mean, even though you're calling it a backup plan, it's kind of part of the plan.
it is. Yeah, yeah,
The backup is part of the plan in case, part A goes astray, part B.
yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I feel that it's so important to hear these things And and be able to, like, for me, I'm very visual, so as you're talking about this, I am visualizing, you walking, I'm visualizing you then doing like an exercise program. And for me, I'm very visual, and that's so helpful. And I feel that when we talk about these things and make it visual like that, there's a whole portion of the population that's going to get it just like a little bit better than if you're just reading it on paper. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I love it. I'm so excited. I'm pumped. I know it sounds like silly, but I was really looking forward to this because I feel that it's just going to be so helpful. I'm sorry, I'm being a little selfish. It's going to be helpful for me as well, but for anyone that's watching and watches this again, um, off the replay, I just think these are great tips. So I didn't want to interrupt you if you weren't finished with number 2. So
Okay.
you got the floor, girl.
Okay, thanks. What I wanted to add to the second tip is, you know how like you have a plan and then something happens and it throws your plan off, and what happens? You feel lost. So by having that backup plan, then you know what to do. Because I know there are plenty of times like I'm just like sitting in indecision. Well, what do? I feel lost. I don't know
Right.
what to do. So when you have that backup plan ready to go, you don't have to think about it.
Right. I love it. That's why I said I feel like it's already part of the plan because you've already laid it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tremendous. And again, like I said, I'm very visual. And as you're talking about this, I don't remember if the movie was Ants or A Bug's Life, where the ants are marching and they all march in a line and a leaf falls in front of them and stops their straight line of travel. And there's like one ant that's like the supervisor ant, and he has to look, the front ant, because everybody follows that ant, and he has to look him in the eyes and say, okay, you can do this, whatever he says, like step to the left, step to the left, I mean, whatever he says to him, to have him go around the leave and then get back on his path. I mean, I know it's his Disney movie, but I feel that is so, appropriate for life in general. It's A to Z. There's a lot of letters in between, where your path could possibly change.
Yeah, yeah. And think about this also. Think of all the decisions you have to make during the day. How many things do we have to decide on? So wouldn't it be nice if you can just make decisions once, like for your goal, and just have that backup plan? If plan A doesn't work, you do plan B. You don't have to
Right.
think about it. And
Right.
remember, if you do think about it, you might talk yourself out of it.
Right. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. Tremendous.
Yeah. No.
I'm already coming up with my backup plans.
Good. Okay. So then the third step is tweaking your way to success and change what's not working. Let's
Mm,
face it, sometimes we're so rigid with our goals and we hold ourselves prisoner to our plans, right? Don't we? And we feel like, we refuse to change no matter what because we feel like we're a failure if we do. So you know
right.
what I'm talking about? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I know I'm guilty of doing this in the past many, many times. And here's the thing, it's okay to change them. But there's a big but to this, a huge but, okay? Ask yourself why you want to change your plans. What's the reason?
Okay.
And is it because it no longer fulfills me, or is it because it's too hard?
Right. 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 But okay, so yeah, obviously, if it no longer fulfills you,
You
so
want,
let's,
yeah,
then I mean, a lot of things, people change direction all the time. I shared an example of a student that I had getting their master's in social work, and I do supervision, field hour supervision. And at the end, when we all sat down and talked about different things that they got from the program and this, that, and everything else, this student said, well, what I learned is that I don't think I want to be a social worker. And, unfortunately, that was at the end of their schooling. But interests change and, and plans change. But if something's too difficult, then what do? We just reset and,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's a great question because when you think about it, like our minds, we just want the easy way out all the time. Sometimes
you're right.
it's too hard. It's like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And this is where the self-doubt comes in play,
Yes.
right? And this is why I do a lot of mind work, mindset work. And we just lose confidence. Oh, this is hard. I'm just going to change my plan. I don't want to do this anymore. No, how, what happened? They're thinking, well, what if I fail? Well, what if you do it and you don't fail? What if you
Right.
succeed? You know? So
Right.
it's important to know the difference. And
Right.
that student that you had, like, you know what? That's great that she made that realization because she could have just said, "Oh, I already completed the program. I might as well just do it," and the heart's not in it. Or she can pivot to something else. And sometimes, I would even wonder if your student going through that year of that program, did they through that program learn that what they did want to do instead?
Um, eh, the student had some ideas,
Mhm.
but wasn't fully, hadn't fully decided. Um, and felt like a failure, just like what we're talking about. It felt like a failure, but again, like through our conversations, um the student was able to recognize things that were learned that year that could be carried over into any profession and into life, into relationships, into community. So I flipped the situation and and helped the student take what they learned to be able to apply that to anything else in life, no matter what route they chose to travel. So it didn't sting as bad after that for the student. Because again, we talk about, expectations and what have you. A lot of times, because I've worked, on college campuses, and a lot of times as parents, of course, we want the best for our kids, but we also forget that, I am older than a college age student and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And we have these young people whose brains aren't even fully developed yet, making a decision that they're going to go to school for 4, for 6, for 8 years to do something. And a lot of times what I would see is the parents would really be the ones that were rigid, that, they want, because they wanted their child to be successful. It wasn't a it was a negative, but it wasn't. And there's so much pressure, put on students from other people, about what they needed to be when they grew up. And the thought of failing someone, their parents, was weighed heavily on a lot of the college students that I had worked with. And and that's such a shame, because you're right. I mean, we're not going to go through life unscathed. And and it's what we take out of each situation and what we learn from it that I feel is going to help the next time around, or it's going to help in another aspect of our lives.
Yeah, beautifully said. I couldn't
Mm,
agree with you more. Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. And every time we go through something, you know, and all right, so let's just take that student again for an example. So let's say
Okay.
they that she went ahead and decided she's going to stick with social work because she already did that work. She already did that year or however long it took. And she's doing that work because she feels like a failure if she doesn't, right? So,
Right.
and then she's going through life as a social worker and she's not happy. Is she successful? She's not happy.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
they
then
just
that's tough. And especially that profession is something where, you are dealing with people every day. and part of our role is helping people. And it's difficult when we're not happy with ourselves or positive or love ourselves, love what we do. It makes it difficult. I always say that I'm not a very good poker player. So, if I'm not happy with something that I'm doing, it's very difficult for me to hide it. And that would be unfair to the people that I was working with, if I were to portray that. And
Yeah.
that's not good. I mean, I've thought about this student. Now I want to see if I can get in touch with the student to see how they're doing and what they chose.
And I just thought of a conversation I had with someone. It was a gentleman friend I have, and he was very unhappy in his relationship with his girlfriend. They were dating like 10 years. And I said, like, I don't remember the exact words I used, but like, why are you still with her? And he said, well, if I, break up with her, then it's another failed relationship. And
Ooh.
I said, is your relationship a success now the way it is? It just how people perceive success and failure. It's just amazing. What is really success? What is really failure? Is
Right.
if you're miserable and you're making a lot of money, is that success?
Right.
There's just so many, different layers to that. So really
Right.
a matter of person really looking into deep inside themselves, what makes them tick, what really makes them excited. And that's like part of my work too. It's like the mindset, it's finding out who you are, not who you think you should be.
Right. Right. And I feel that, again, going into the wellness aspect, wellness life coach, um, everybody's been through everybody. I mean, like I said, you can't go through life unscathed. And just whatever type of trauma it is, like that gentleman, you know, to have like such a almost like a negative feeling about himself. And when we see that, it seems like it's so much easier a lot of times for people to see the negative than it is to see the positive, or we're not focused or trained on seeing the positive. And I was the same when I was younger. I joke around about it. I say that I was an angry elf because I love that movie. And I was angry all the time. And of course, a lot of things, and we figured it out. And and healing is a lifelong process. But a really cool lady was one of my basketball moms. Anything I said when I was in my angry elf stage, she would find something positive in it. And one day I just looked at her. I'm like, how do you do that? And she's like, do what? I said, fine. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I feel guilty now because everything I say, you were able to find something positive in it. She's like, there's always something positive in anything negative. There's always something positive. And I made that habit into a lifestyle change. And that is something that I continue to do to this day, but it had to be something that I did consciously at first.
Right.
It had to be something that I did consciously. And whether I had to say to myself, okay, it was a pretty crappy day, but what's something positive that happened? And eventually it got to the point where, again, that became a lifestyle change. And it does so much. I'm not saying I'm like happy all the time and, everything's perfect and I'm rosy sunshine, whatever. But it's that ability, I feel, if we can all do that. I can't tell everybody how much my life has changed, or just my personality has changed, or my belief in myself has changed just from doing that one thing. And it wasn't even about me. Like, I wasn't finding the positive things in anything with me. It was any situation or for other people or anything. I just would find the positive, and it made such a huge change. And looking at that gentleman in his relationship, I don't know if he's still in the relationship. I don't know, if he's single, if he's with somebody else. But the thing is, once you shut yourself off, you shut yourself off to yourself,
Yeah.
and you shut yourself off to possibility.
Absolutely. Yes. And here's the thing, you can never, like, when it comes to relationships, you're never gonna find Mr. or Mrs. Right if you're with Mr. or Mrs. Wrong.
Right, exactly. But I feel, again, I mean, I know we're kind of going off topic a little, but I feel that a lot of people that I've seen, male and female, it's almost like this fear of being alone.
Yeah.
And I decided to take that ride twice, and I've been divorced now. Well, I mean, legally divorced since 2017, but single since 2015. And I got to know me again.
Mm,
And there are a few things that I won't do by myself. For some reason, I don't like to go to the movies by myself. And I think partially it's because I fall asleep when I watch movies, and I'd be embarrassed if no one was there to wake me up.
mhm.
I go to dinner by myself. I've gone to concerts by myself, and it's not oh, pity me. It's I enjoy this. And I went to see a cool concert by myself, and just me. I ended up talking to everybody there, and so I really wasn't by myself.
Yeah, there you go, and
But I
it's how you
feel
look
that,
at it too.
getting to know yourself as a person, a lot of times people don't know how to not be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think when you're not in a relationship, I feel that that's a perfect opportunity to get to know yourself again. And when you get to know yourself again, then again, that's one of those lessons in life for everything. You are now, I feel, you'd be better at setting boundaries. You'd be better at saying, okay, well, I've been doing ABCD. So if I'm going to have a partner, they need to kind of be on the same page. Um, it's just a whole different ball of wax.
Yeah. No, you're so
I
right,
digress. I'm sorry.
no, I'm loving this, and,
But I do.
like
I mean, I see it, in anybody that people, not everybody, like there are, people that don't have issues being out of relationships, but I feel I've seen it. Um, People that got out of relationship the same time I did, and jumped right back in, and then that failed, and jumped right back in, and then that failed because they weren't ready.
right.
They were still mourning. And I mean, any loss, is almost like a death. You're mourning it. It's the death of this relationship. So you
Yeah,
have to allow yourself time to mourn. Everybody's time is different,
right.
but yeah, sorry. I went woo,
That's
way
so
over here.
no, I know, and, just, a point on that, let's see if I can remember, yeah, the thing is, and I don't know why we're talking about relationship, one more point on that, and then I'll move on. Um, so you a person cannot love another person unless they love themselves. You have to love yourself to truly be able to love someone else. So,
Absolutely. 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 But we
yeah.
can bring that back to goal setting, to where we're afraid to fail,
Mm,
or it's going to be too hard.
right.
If we have more of a love for ourselves, then we're going to want to try harder, maybe, and do a little bit better for ourselves.
Right, and have self-compassion as well, for sure.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so to finish up what I'm, talking about with tweaking your way to success, change was not we were talking about that. We were talking
We
about
were.
just different ways, yes. So we didn't really go off topic, we just took it, deeper.
Took the
And
long route.
yes, yes, but I think it was a fun one. So, you know, and here's the other thing about getting back to, changing your reason because it's too hard. And I'm gonna go back to what I said before. If you give yourself an out, you will almost always take it. So it's really important to to recognize that and know yourself. Like, you know yourself best. You know, if you know you're going to give yourself an out, if you know, you're trying not to eat cake and you go to a birthday party and then all of a sudden, you know, it's someone's birthday and they hand you a cake and you just eat it because you don't have a backup plan and you just don't want to
Right.
do it, and you just do it because it's too hard to resist that cake, you know? So it's important to know the difference between the two. You know, do you is it does what you want to do still light you up? If not, it's okay to change it. If what you want to do is just getting really hard, don't give up. Just find another way to do it, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think sometimes again, like we go back to like the, New Year's resolutions or, what have you. Oh, or people like, oh, I need to lose 20 pounds in a month so I can get into that outfit. And that's hard. That's unrealistic. I mean, it can happen, don't get me wrong. But sometimes breaking it down and recognizing, okay, this is my goal, this is my goal. But I'm gonna have to give myself a little more time to reach the full extent of it, and then maybe break it down into milestones and say,
Mhm.
okay, this is my full on goal, but I would like to achieve X amount by this time, X amount by this time, and then tweak it if
Yeah.
if not
Yeah.
tweak it if you're not hitting it at the right time. I'm loving this. But I mean, I feel that I need to have you go back over the 3 points, just like a bullet point of them.
Hey, yeah.
And, so that way, we can tie it all up. How does that sound?
Sounds great, and,
This
I
is
love that you said tweak it, 'cause that's why I named my business Wellness Tweaks. It's just
nice.
tweaking your way to health and wellness, so, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. We're
Okay.
vibing.
Yeah. So, the first step would be to pick a goal that you have and put a system or a set of habits in place, right? The second step is to create a backup plan. And the third step is to tweak your way to success and change what's not working. And I did create a nice, simple worksheet. If anyone wants to get it, just scan that, code there, or I don't know if I put in the private chat the link, but you can just scan the code and it'll ask you a few questions like how you enjoyed the talk today, and that's great feedback for me. And then you get the worksheet by filling that out. So,
Awesome.
mhm.
Awesome. I love it. Oh my gosh, this has been a tremendous, tremendous help, a wonderful episode, and just a great conversation. So, Keri, we missed you up here in Pennsylvania, but I know you don't miss the weather. But maybe I'll have to come down and visit, so I can get out of the snow myself, because that's not my friend anymore either. Thank you so much. This is going to replay, so please, I'll get you the link, share it, throughout your own social media or sites. And, everybody will kind of get that little taste of what it is that you do. And hopefully, they'll come and reach out to you because, again, I mean, I do know you personally, and I know that you touched a lot of lives already with what you do, but there's such a possibility if you work with individuals to that their lives will be absolutely transformed. So I thank you again, and have a wonderful, wonderful 2026. Looking forward to that book. I totally want the pity party book. That's what I'm calling it, the pity party book.
Yeah.
So
So,
thank you again, Keri. You're an amazing human being. And thank you to everyone who has joined us. Mental Health Mondays with Hope. Thank you again, and we will see you next week.